Hello, and welcome to Accounts Playable, where we take stock of our latest episode. This is an after show, not a before show. So if you haven't watched the episode, go and do that first, and then come back. We'll still be here.
Nice.
All right, that's good pattern.
Good job.
That's good pattern. All right, so this was episode 6.
Wow, I can't believe it.
I know.
Very
It
intense.
feels like we've only been here for like 3 days.
And yet, it feels like we've been here forever.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this once a month, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, as long as, one Kickstarter a month. Yeah, I got that in me. This certainly won't kill me. I certainly haven't been leaving bodily fluids everywhere.
No. That's
Yeah.
without a story. That's ominous.
So, how did it go?
Great.
I almost died.
Yeah. But you lived.
Barely.
Ultimately.
Yeah. I rolled a nat 20 on my death save, which is something that I never do. Like my dice, this whole campaign, I'm going to say it now and it's going to ruin it because it's been half the campaign. I've had hot dice.
I feel like you always say that you don't roll well, but I feel like every time I've sat at a table with you, you hit some sort of crazy nat 20.
Maybe you're my good luck charm.
I'm not mad at that.
Maybe that's it.
I like that.
Anyone who's watched me play like online though
Yeah.
they won't let me roll for like the group. If it's like someone has to roll a d20, they're like, not you.
No. I have a completely opposite reaction to you. I want you to roll for us.
I like that.
Yeah.
This is where I belong.
This seems to be a running theme. This is not the first death saves that we've had in this game.
That's true.
We've had quite a few.
I think Jeremy was saying we had someone down to 0 in every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainty almost fully died. Omen was down this episode too. And then so we had 2 different characters almost die this episode.
Jim was down to 0 like 3 times in a row on the Crying Rock.
Yeah. This is wild. They're not taking it easy on
I was
us
gonna
at
say,
all.
do you think Chris and Jeremy, don't like you guys?
I am
Are
actually
you taking it personally?
like, in all seriousness, I think you would have to be good at D&D to play these levels because we're not getting any rest. We're at level 3. We're like, you really have to be strategic about what you're using and saving. So like usually when I play with them, I'm like, it's about the role play. Any beginner could play. You can rest whenever you want to.
Yeah.
This is like, I need to be at my best player ever.
Yeah, and I think that since they're so good at what they do and their styles are so different, but they mesh so well with everybody at the table, I think that really goes to show the skill level of the DMs, but also, like you said, of the players. We're in there crushing it.
That was a subtle pat on our backs. Yeah.
But
Well, and also people think oh, well, these characters are on t-shirts. They're not really going to die. I told them, no, kill characters. We'll just make new ones. We'll actually kill Anna. We'll kill Evelyn. And Bobby. Any of them.
I know. We're well aware. We thought going into it, like, it was going to be like that. Like, oh, it'll be fine. This is just a show. It's going to be easy, just entertainment. But no, we're fighting for our lives every episode.
Good. Let's see some notes. What was the other than almost dying? What was your favorite part of?
An interesting thing to note for the Omevelyn fans out there is that Omen, Evelyn found out that he has been lying about something. Like, she thought he was a cleric of Timora. She's like, this is the kind of person I should be into. And now I'm like, his pen pal, and it's so cute. And then all of a sudden, wait, he might be worshiping the devil. He's been lying a bunch. He runs away whenever I try to talk to him about it. And now he's got his arm around this Medusa lady. So I feel like this is kind of a turning point that I've been waiting for with Evelyn on that. I don't know.
It does seem like this is a lead that's been buried.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was really funny with the stuff with the statues in the beginning. That was I was cracking up with that because we have little battery packs while you guys are filming. I don't know if you've seen our little headsets. So I was taking I was doing work in my office, but I could still hear everything.
That's
so it was
fun.
like a live podcast. So I could hear every single thing that was happening. I was cracking up while all that stuff's going. For all the danger, it's still very funny. It's all been still very funny show. We have a couple questions here, and just these are general, obviously, because people can't see it while we're filming, but just general questions from the Discord from fan stuff. KJM McMullen was asking, which character gets along best in the new setting of Greyhawk and who seems to be adjusting the worst?
I know. I feel like we're all kind of flailing. We're just like waiting to get stronger. That's another thing about this. We're advancing throughout the dungeon levels, but we're not getting experience.
Yeah.
So it's getting harder without us getting stronger.
3 is hard.
Yeah.
Level 3 is hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that like paladins, it's quintessential for a paladin that I don't have yet.
Yeah.
So.
But it's, I don't know if anybody's really thriving over somebody else. But it does feel like we're working together way more as a team in these.
Yeah.
Not that we don't when we're doing the stage shows, but I feel like every level we come together a little bit more as a team, and it gets us through because we literally have to, or we're gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim is technically from here. So, like, you could say he's getting along best, but actually he's kind of getting along the worst.
He was who I was going to say was the worst.
Yeah.
But he's adjusted.
I guess he's adjusting.
Yeah.
I would say Omen's getting along the best because he's just like lying through his teeth all the time.
He's gonna lie wherever he is.
But it works well in this setting, it feels like. Being willing to murder 2 people because you accidentally aimed someone wrong, it works well here.
But if you think about logistically, the place was gonna fall apart anyway when we left.
Yeah.
So he's got the high level thing.
Macro. Yeah.
Paul asks, what plot hooks or story threads do you hope will be picked up, concluded, or otherwise brought back in this or future games? That's as vague as you could possibly get.
No, I like that though. Like, what arcs are you following as a player?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm into the Bobby being into Lathander thing. We haven't really had time for prayer.
Yeah,
You know?
it's been very hectic.
Yeah.
And I actually have a lot of Lathander names that I'm ready to bust out. But I've been debating the whole time whether to do them now or save them for on stage.
Yeah.
So I like them on stage more.
I haven't even, look, I'm looking for places to bring up Lathander all the time, and I've been able to do it twice. We've been very busy.
And when you said it, I've done it with you. So, that's probably it. Because I feel like with Bobby, when I came in, I'm like, okay, I'm all about cheese, and I'm ready to fight. Then I had my little friend, and then he's gone. I was like, what do I need to? I need a rock. I need an anchor to. I was like, here we go. So I feel like finding that gave Bobby purpose. And so thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I love that. I feel like the buddy moments between them are good.
Yeah.
I also think I already mentioned the Evelyn Omen stuff. I've been waiting for that to explode forever. And I don't exactly know what's going to happen with Evelyn there. And then also, I think the certainty figuring out that Omen has to deal with the devil and being like, Dad, and figuring out what she's going to do. Is she going to help him or try to take advantage of that? I think that's interesting.
Probably say for me is kind of how everything, Omen has something with everyone that he's gonna have to eventually come to terms with. So I'm interested to see how all of these different Omen stories kind of come to fruition. Does he become a better person? Does he stay the exact same? Is in an episode of Sunny in Philadelphia where you see growth about to happen, they're on the brink of it, and he goes, nah.
Yeah. No, that is true. That is a good point too. Good analogy there. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
The Jim's moments are also that's one of the most heart-wrenching moments is whenever Omen's real with Jim. When we got one of those in this last episode. So good.
Well, and Jerry's working on that Omen and Jim story. So I feel like Omen and Jim stuff is really front of his mind right now because little behind the scenes peek. I've been project managing him on this book he's writing.
Oh.
And it's a novella about how the two of them meet. So I feel like that's
on
front of
his
Jerry's
mind.
mind, right now. So I bet that's why he's extra dialing it in. Also, he had Mike at the table in a minute.
Oh, I will point out also, it's not a story arc, but I think some of the most fun creative D&D moments I've ever been a part of are with Mike.
Oh yeah.
He just has the best creative mind for how to use things for either funny or effectiveness.
Purim asks, what was session 0 or new player onboarding like for each of you in joining ACK Inc? We got to see Evelyn and Bobby join pretty much fully formed, so I'm curious what it was like talking to people like Anna and WWE superstar Xavier Woods before adding them to a session.
I was very nervous because I knew that this had been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And I knew it was like kind of like a rotating chair, and I was on stage, and I'd done a couple of things before, and I played D&D, but I wasn't like ultra locked into like how everything worked. So I was like, I gotta be like on point. I gotta be funny. Like everybody's got their role. I get it. This is what this person does. This is what this person does. Where do I fit in this? And it's like, okay, when we fight, just try to be entertaining. Drop a couple like funny one-liners and hope that people like me, type of thing. It's very much felt like kid at a new school type of thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's already got relationships, and like I'm there and they're gonna be nice to me. I'm gonna be nice to them, but like, are we gonna like become friends?
Yeah.
You know? Because
Yeah.
that's what you want when you go in. Like you see everybody having a good time. And so that's what I was nervous about for that whole like 3 hours on stage and just trying to figure it out. But it's funny how, and I don't want to get like weird or sappy, but like through sitting and playing a game as like as basic but also advanced as Dungeons and Dragons, like you can feel bonds forming through role playing characters that aren't you, but they've got enough of you in them where it's like, oh, cool. I see that kind of person's energy, and I'm meshing with this person. So by the end of it, I felt awesome because everybody here is so great, you know.
Yeah, you had played. Or had you played on stage, D&D?
A couple of times.
Okay.
So maybe like 2 or 3.
Okay.
But one was like a fully cosplayed walk around the stage and act out stuff.
Oh yeah, TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one or two other times sitting down on stage.
No, because I remember your first game. I remember because the first thing you did was like you ran out on stage and you were running around stage. Dude, got the energy of the crowd up really, but it was like immediate. Like you jumped like.
It's just wrestler energy. And because if I don't
improv too.
if I don't know what's going on, I'm like, okay, if I run around, I'm excited. People will hopefully cheer, and then they're like, oh, I like that guy.
Yeah. No, it was really good. I remember it was like, oh, this is gonna work. This will be great. Yeah.
That's good strategy.
Yeah.
For me, a couple things, I guess. Evelyn was part of a previous game, and that game ended, and I was very, very sad because I felt like Evelyn was dead. And like, I love the character so much, I wasn't ready to stop playing with the character. So at the time, I kind of put it out there that I was like, Evelyn also exists in the Penny Arcade universe. So if ever there's a place for me to bring her, like, it would mean so much to me to be able to continue her story. So that was like a huge gift to me. So that was part of the onboarding. I also was really, really nervous because I think everyone at that table is always so funny. And I even took like a comedy workshop to like make sure that I was specifically like in the right headspace to be funny on stage. And that was really helpful. And I think you were saying the building of the bonds. It's also like every time you put yourself out there in improv where it's like, I'm really vulnerable. Like, are you going to laugh at what I said? Or are you going to pick up what I said? And every time someone does, that builds a bond too, where it's like, I now have a lot of trust for the people at the table, you know?
Yeah. I always, people always ask like, cause like when I was doing C-Team, I had never played D&D before. So like Dinar was like the first time people watched me literally play D&D for the first time. And everyone's always like, I always get questions from new players. They're like, oh, what's it like? And I'm like, it's improv with loose rules. Like you're just messing around with friends. You can get as rules heavy as you want to, but don't like, that scares people. And I'm like, you don't have to. It's like, as long as you're like good with your friends and able to riff, that's really the biggest part, in my opinion. I guess it is different for everyone, but.
I think that's true of a lot of us, how we feel about it. Improv first.
Cool. Well, that's all we've got on. That's all we've got on Accounts Playable. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you after the next one.